It is 8:40. Good morning to you. Time for the papers this morning, and we're joined by the Deputy Editor of The Spectator, Freddie Gray, and political journalist Emma Burnell. Good to see you both. I love this in The Times, Emma. Simon Callow criticising trigger warnings.
Yeah, he's written a letter to The Times. I think his tipping point, there was a trigger warning on a production of The Sound of Music, which, you know, may contain Nazis, which is, yeah, I think you kind of know that going in.
Well, you'd hope so.
And he said, you know, the whole point of trigger warnings it belies the whole notion of theatre, and theatre shouldn't be just about telling safe stories. It is literally a safe space to examine all the aspects of human nature. So you can be watching something as violent as, say, Coriolanus, or, you know, really, really kind of intense drama of Hamlet, which is, you know, very difficult, emotional. But you do it sat, safely in your seat, eating your ice cream, drinking your wine, etc. And I think he's kind of... The point he's making is that this... You shouldn't be denying yourself those difficult experiences of theatre because it's the safest environment in which to examine these things.
I quite like a trigger warning.
Do you?
It makes you pay attention.
You do.
It's like when, on a TV show when they go, warning, this may contain scenes of a violent nature or something, you're suddenly like, oh, all right, I'll...
Well, I even do that if it says may contain flash photography. I'm waiting for the flash.
to be startled, yeah.
I agree with you. I don't see that it's... I don't see that it's entirely a bad thing.
Oh, I do.
I mean, I think when I put on plays, as you know, I'm also a playwright, and they... If there's swearing, then you put something on. And you put it on the website because people might book for kids and might feel really uncomfortable having some of those things. So it's perfectly acceptable to say this has got, you know, certain themes, whatever.
Or sex scenes.
Sex scenes, indeed. My first play had one of those.
Well, and did you put a trigger warning out?
There was a content warning. So it was basically, you know, this contains adult themes.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Which is perfectly reasonable.
So you don't have people booking for children.
But I think there are, you know, if you're taking it down the line to the point where you're having to warn people that there are Nazis in The Sound of Music, I think that might be just taking it a little too far.
Well, it's a whole bag of nuts saying this may contain nuts, isn't it? I mean, that's how ridiculous it gets.
I do like Simon Callow, though. He always seems to be very sensible about everything.
He's wonderful.
Yeah. No,
and a marvellous actor as well.
Yeah.
Oh, marvellous.
Marvellous, darling. Marvellous.
You went very thespian.
I went very thespian there, I didn't I?
Go on, Em.
No, I was going to say to Freddie, you've been looking in The Times, then,
yes.
About what happened to certain people during COVID.
Yes, well, 600,000 people dropped out of the workforce in COVID, many of them early retirees. And latest studies suggest that they are actually in much greater levels of poverty than people had previously thought, and that it was a disaster, and that it's very important for the British economy that we get a lot of these people back into work, because, as we all know by now, productivity is not good in Britain compared to other countries. And so that's the gist behind this story. But I find it extraordinary that 600,000 people...
It's a huge amount, isn't it?
...dropped out of the workforce.
But this seems to imply... you got the impression, when we talk about all these people taking early retirement, you think, well, it's people who've got a good pension pot, they're in a secure position, they say, actually, this is too much hassle, I don't need to work anymore, therefore I'm giving it up. But when clearly they haven't had enough resources in their pension pot and all the rest of it.
I think COVID was obviously a very odd time, and I think a lot of people had a sort of life-changing moment where they thought, actually, I'm doing a job I don't like. Why am I doing it?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't... Well, we could all do that at various points in our career,
Yeah,
but I've not enjoyed...
no, actually, I do enjoy my job, so I can't complain.
Well, I can't complain here, but in other places,
yes.
So I'd like to quit.
But because of furlough and the fact that we were living... during lockdown, we were living very quiet lives, I suppose we might have been lulled into a false sense of security that, hey, I can manage like this. Why go back to work? And now it has hit people very hard because you can't go on for long.
No, and I think Freddie hit on a really important point, which is that there's this sense, I think, that we think all people over 60, boomer generation, you know, have the best economic... But actually, people between 60 and 70 are really quite diverse, and there are some people in that generation who, because of the economy that they started working in, have never really built up those big pension pots. They've never had that job security, because they started working at the beginning of the huge sort of Thatcher revolution. So, you know, the end end of the unions, all of those things. So there's actually a big, I think about a quarter, it says in that, who are really, really struggling. And I think that we just don't think of people of that age and that generation living in that kind of poverty, but they actually have, throughout their working lives, been hit by all of these different shocks that hit different workforces.
And I tell you what, if they are of an age where they have got younger sons and daughters who are trying to get on going back to the bank of mum and dad and asking for help as well, they're being sort of caught in a sandwich, aren't they?
It's difficult if the bank of mum and dad is also bust.
Yes,
exactly.
Well, and also, if you're at 60 to 70, it's quite possible that you've got children and grandchildren, quite possible caring responsibilities for grandchildren, as well as parents still alive. Yes. So you've got caring responsibilities at both ends of the scale as well.
And before COVID, you would have been the earning generation, and now you're not.
OK, let's move on to something which matters to me more, frankly, in the front of the Daily Star. We've been eating our Weetabix wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I am shocked and appalled.
She's shocked to your very core.
How can you eat a Weetabix wrong?
Well, because you're putting them in the bowl and pouring milk on top of your Weetabix.
Yeah. Wrong.
No.
Wrong, apparently. According to the Weetabix people, milk first, Weetabix second.
And you put it in like a sort of boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Weetabix boat.
But then it goes soggy from the bottom up.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
but it retains
top-down
crunch
or
at the
bottom-up sogginess, this is the great debate of the UK.
Well, it's a good debate.
It's a good debate.
Yeah.
I still miss the skinhead Weetabix. Do you remember them from the old adverts in the 80s?
Yes.
Very odd advertising campaign of Weetabix marching around being really odd. I think it was brilliant, if you've had your Weetabix.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, the Daily started a cover about people dipping their sausage rolls.
Yes, yes.
And we on
we did it here, yeah.
And we did it together. We dipped it in.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I'm glad that you're not making me eat Weetabix this morning. I'm not a big Weetabix.
I don't drink milk, so I'd be completely useless at this.
I like a Weetabix.
Well, was it Weetabix that started the whole thing of how many can you...
No, that was shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat.
I think that the hard Weetabix was a counter to the shredded wheat, I can eat 3.
Yeah, 3. I can eat 6.
Macho cereal, this is what
Macho cereal. I quite like a bit of macho cereal.
Yeah.
So there you go.
With sliced banana on the top.
Now, I know you were very desperate, Freddie, to look at The Guardian and talk about Taylor Swift.
Well,
so you're a huge fan.
So I am now a Taylor Swift fan because my daughter is a fanatic.
Is she?
So I have to follow all the going on.
Well, what's the news then? What's she doing?
She's got a tour of East Asia, and the tickets are in such demand, it's insane. They go for incredible prices. Anyway, but she's under huge pressure to book more events, even though she's already doing 130 concerts or something.
That's ridiculous.
She's got to do more.
It's actually become a political scandal in the Philippines because she's not playing in the Philippines because there isn't the infrastructure. And this is now, the government of the Philippines not known for their responsiveness to the populace. And this is what's actually causing ructions for them at the moment. It's extraordinary reach.
And I didn't realise just how important she is to people.
No. Yeah.
No.
It's extraordinary.
They really love her.
Yeah.
My daughter thinks she's... My daughter said the other day, I want to have loads of boyfriends because Taylor Swift's had loads of boyfriends.
Oh, well, there you go. That's good as well.
She sounds like a good role model for my child.
Yes. I don't know a Taylor Swift song. I don't know.
Shake It Off is about as much as I know. I do love Shake It Off. It's a great track.
Oh, I know that. Yes, I know that. Yes.
Go on, sing it for us.
And the player's gonna play.
Yeah, well, that's as good as you're going to get. Yeah.
Don't ask me to sing. You'll lose your viewership.
No, it's a decent tune, but I don't know. It's a sign of getting old, I'm afraid.
Because I haven't got kids. I was saying to Freddie's getting that regeneration of his music taste that I just haven't got at all.
Yeah.
Secondary socialisation, they call it, Freddie.
Well, so Spotify, because of my daughter, Spotify thinks I love Taylor Swift. So it keeps messaging me going, we know you love Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You might like this.
Oh.
And I don't.
No.
Whereas I get Orlena Cohen.
That's the digital business pulling you in.
Oh, there you go. Well, on that note...
I did download Threads in the last
Oh, you have done it?
I've done it. I haven't posted anything yet.
No. But it's quite easy to do because you just log in with your Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got you.
They have got you.
Got you.
Easily done. Lovely. Freddie, I shall follow you on
Great,
Threads.
let's follow each other.
Yeah, let's. Should we be Threads friends?
Yeah. I like everything you...
Oh, excellent, yes. Lovely. Emma, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you
Good
so
to see
much.
you.